Clarets fan, Burnley is on the verge of making decisions that will change everything for the next season. While Scott Parker reveals his absolute confidence in keeping two key squad members, a surprise move behind the scenes could define the club's future in the Premier League. Could this duo of explosive news be the sign that the Clarets have finally learned from past mistakes? You won't want to miss the details that will leave even the most skeptical fans gobsmacked. But hold on. Before we give you all the details, subscribe to the channel right now. If you're tired and want more energy and vigor in a totally natural way, download the exclusive guide by clicking on the link in the comments. Burnley made a big bet by signing Jadon Anthony, paying £10 million to secure his permanent stay at the club following their promotion to the Premier League. For many fans, this transfer represents a hope that the team has a forward capable of making an impact and taking the club to a new level. But the question lingering in the air is, will Anthony be able to shine in the Premier League? Or will his performance fall short, as has happened with other players who moved up a division? Jadon Anthony stood out last season, being a key figure in Bournemouth's promotion to the Premier League. At 25 years old, the forward was responsible for 7 goals and 7 assists, numbers that caught attention not only for their volume but also for his ability to quicken the pace of the game and create goal-scoring opportunities. He has impressive speed and a direct style of play, which is exactly the type of player Burnley need to succeed in the elite of English football. Moreover, he quickly integrated into Bournemouth's squad and won the confidence of the fans, becoming a popular figure in the team. However, when looking at the Premier League, concerns begin to arise. Anthony's record in the top flight is not exactly encouraging. In 33 matches played in the Premier League during the 2022-23 season, he managed only 3 goals and 1 assist. These numbers are far from what is expected of a forward who arrives with the responsibility of leading the offensive line of a newly promoted team. And despite Anthony having played just 1,400 minutes, the expectation is that he can do more than that, especially considering the value of his transfer. It's clear that the Premier League is an extremely competitive league, and any player arriving from a lower division will need to adapt to a much higher level of demand. However, for Burnley fans, Anthony's performance will be crucial to the team's success. The team cannot afford to make mistakes again by bringing in players who fail to adapt. When talking about £10 million, the investment needs to justify the return, and this puts enormous pressure on the forward. Fans expect Anthony not only to fit into the team but also to be one of the stars of the attack, helping the team stay in the Premier League. The main question that arises is, will Anthony be able to overcome his difficulties in the Premier League? His first season at the top wasn't brilliant, but he has time and resources to improve. Manager Scott Parker, who knows him well, believes the player can grow in the new environment and become a key piece in Burnley's setup. Anthony's experience in a high-level league will be fundamental for his adaptation. If he can replicate the numbers he produced in the Championship, Burnley will have a player capable of making a real impact in the Premier League. On the other hand, Burnley fans cannot ignore the fact that the club needs more than promises. Anthony needs to deliver immediate results. The team will need at least 10 goals and 10 assists from their forward to ensure a good campaign in the Premier League. And so far, Anthony has not proven he has a potential to reach those numbers in the top division. This places a huge responsibility on his shoulders, and he knows it. For Burnley, simply staying in the Premier League is not enough. The club needs to be competitive and hold its own against the giants of the league. This means players like Anthony will have to deliver more than modest numbers. The investment made by Burnley reflects the confidence the board has in the player, but the pressure for him to prove his worth will be immense. Ultimately, Anthony's success will be directly tied to Burnley's success in the Premier League. If he can find his rhythm and make a difference, the team could have a successful season. If not, the club could find itself in trouble again. The truth is that £10 million is not an exorbitant amount for a Premier League player, but for a club like Burnley, every pound spent needs to be well invested. The transfer window is still open, and fans hope to see the club continue to strengthen. But for now, the hope lies with Anthony. Burnley's future in the Premier League may well depend on how he performs on the pitch and his ability to adjust to the faster and more demanding pace of the top flight. If he fails, Burnley may be forced to revise their strategies for the future. Jadon Anthony now has a unique chance to prove himself in the Premier League, and Burnley fans will be watching his every move. If he can overcome his challenges and deliver what is expected of a player of his quality, he will become one of the team's stars and one of the main reasons for Burnley's survival in the elite of English football. But For that, he will need to show a level of consistency he has not yet demonstrated in the Premier League. Time will tell if he is capable of doing so. Burnley's promotion to the Premier League, secured with 2 rounds to spare, brought not only immense joy to the fans, but also a sense of off-field security. For Scott Parker, this means there is now the necessary clarity to move forward with contract renewal negotiations for 2 key players, CJ Egan-Riley and Josh Brownhill. The duo has been fundamental to Burnley's return to the elite of English football. Both played essential roles throughout the season, but with their contracts set to expire at the end of this summer, there was significant concern among fans about their future at the club. However, the certainty of promotion now brings a new perspective, as Burnley can return to the negotiating table with more confidence. Scott Parker, in a recent interview, expresses optimism about the future of these players. "I'm confident that both will sign new contracts," he stated. For the manager, the strong season from Egan-Riley and Brownhill, and the fact that both feel like important parts of Burnley's project, make the chances of renewal quite high. "These players loved this year so much and were essential to what we achieved. You never know what might happen, but I'm quite optimistic," Parker added. This climate of confidence is a reflection of the good work done so far. It's not just a promotion to the Premier League that brings reassurance, but the continuity of key pieces within the squad. For Parker, this stability could make all the difference in the next season. He emphasized that the renewal process with Egan-Riley and Brownhill has been ongoing for months. Now that clarity about the division Burnley will play in has been established, he believes negotiations should progress more quickly. The promotion also brought good news for other loanee players. Bashir Humphreys, Jaden Anthony, Marcus Edwards, and Zian Fleming will become permanent signings, giving Burnley an important advantage before the transfer window opens. Unlike 2 seasons ago, when several key players left for other clubs, Burnley now seems to have more control over retaining their talent. This creates a sense of continuity within the club, which is vital for the team to succeed in the Premier League. Parker acknowledges that, despite the solid foundation already built, Burnley will need to seek more quality to remain competitive at the highest level of English football. He knows that a delicate balance is needed when strengthening the squad, bringing in players with Premier League experience without destabilizing the positive culture cultivated throughout the season. The manager admitted it will be a challenge, but expressed confidence that, with the help of the players already in the team, this process can be done efficiently. "It will be tricky," Parker admitted, referring to the task of bringing in new players without losing the essence of what has been achieved so far. "We have to find the right balance. I greatly appreciate what every player has done for us this season. They brought something unique to the team, and it's something we need to maintain while we look to improve," he added. For now, the priority is to ensure that the duo of Egan-Riley and Brownhill sign their new contracts as soon as possible. Both have been pillars in the season's success, and their renewals are vital for Burnley to maintain the same competitive foundation in the Premier League. For fans, the feeling is that, with these players alongside figures like Jaden Anthony and Marcus Edwards, the club's future looks more promising than ever. Burnley is now preparing for the biggest stage of their journey, the fight to stay in the Premier League. And, with Scott Parker and a solid core of players, the club is ready to face this challenge head-on. For Egan-Riley, Brownhill, and the other players who have become essential to the squad, the future is now. The promotion has brought new energy to the team, and the contract renewals of these players could be the first step towards Burnley establishing themselves in the elite of English football. The work is just beginning, but the foundations for success are already being built. So, Clarets, after learning that Parker is securing our essential players and that the club is already making moves behind the scenes, do you think this time we'll get it right in the Premier League? Comment yes if you believe in this project, or no if you're still afraid of repeating 2022. But if you're one of those fans who lives every detail of Burnley, hold on. The next video will reveal exclusive Burnley news. Burnley wants to sign the Fulham star who previously secured promotion under Parker's management. Click and find out this and other details now.